To order. Everyone has had a chance to review the minutes of 5:26. Is there any questions, additions, or changes?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. At this point, we're going to have a public hearing and consideration of an application for a conditional use permit by the City of Hudson's Park Department to construct a series of stairways on city property at Lakefront Park on the south side of the extension of Walnut Street, more commonly referred to as the Dyke Road. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on that?
I have a question.
Yes.
Over how, I noticed that it was going to be phased in, right?
Well, why don't we?
We gotta finish
why
the
don't we do
public hearing before we ask for
Then we can
questions.
open it up for discussion.
Is there anyone here that would like to address the issue of the Lakefront Park stairways? If not, I'd like to call for a...
I'd like to read the DNR's
okay.
comments into the public record. Mr. Michael Wenholtz, who's Bureau of Watershed Management Regional Shoreline Specialist, forwarded comments from the DNR. There's 4 bullet points and then one other consideration. So I'd like to enter these into the his entire memorandum of dated June 14th. Stairways are listed conditional use requiring a conditional use permit under NR 118.05 Parent 2 Parent A 7 Wisconsin Administrative Code. This section requires a conditional structure or use to comply with applicable requirements per subsection NR 118.06 and 118.07, specifically 118.07 Parent 7 for this request. Proposal appears to meet the required structure color standards per section NR 118.06 Parent 2 by assuring stairways would be painted in an earth tone color to match the rocks and blend into the landscape. The proposed vertical length of each stairway is approximately 16 feet long. Section NR 118.07 Parent 7 Parent C requires landings located at a vertical interval of not less than 20 feet and may not exceed 40 square feet in area. Proposal meets the landing requirement to the unique structure of this project regarding the stairways. Use of stairways at least 16 feet of vertical length is acceptable. Point 4, due to the unique and public nature of the proposal, the department accepts the proposal to include 5 stairways, which does not meet the requirement that only 1 stairway may be permitted on a lot that abuts the lower St. Croix River, as per section NR 118 Parent or 07 Parent 7 Parent K. The last provision is all other requirements per subsection 118.06 and 118.07 shall be met. Additionally, appropriate waterway permits are to be obtained prior to starting project work. You may work with Stacy Carlson to determine which, if any, permits are required. So if we enter that into the public record.
Okay.
That's requested by DNR.
Okay, is there any other comments? If not, I'd like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. Frank, you had a question?
What period of time?
Tom, what's the period of time we're gonna phase these in? We're gonna do 1 or 2 this year? I'll let you get to the mic.
Thanks. The plan was first to get approval from the DNR, and once that was obtained, then we would put the project, bid the project out and see about costs, and then we'd kind of go from there. We'd like to maybe start with 2 stairs this year and see how they worked out. And then if they worked out, we'd maybe do more next year.
Yeah.
May also be determinant on funding, correct, Tom? Also availability of funding to do them.
Yep.
So let's say we do 2 stairs this year and they don't work out, then what happens to the 2 stairs? Because they're removable, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, could they be utilized somewhere else if we spend the money to create these stairs, or?
Possibly, but I'm fairly confident that once we proceed with this, they'll be workable and we'll get use out of them, and
Okay.
it'll be beneficial. And the main concern with this is this request comes from the park board, but specifically from the people that moor their boats on the south end of the dock, the mooring people. It's treacherous. There's big limestone rocks and boulders, and it's very hard to get from the dike road down to the shoreline where they store their dinghies.
Yeah.
And get down there. So they've been after, requesting this for several years. We've just been trying to develop some stairs or access to the shoreline that's workable and possibly that we can remove if we have to during flood or ice conditions.
I just want to state that the funding for this project is coming from the fee that we assess the people who use the mooring units. So there's a fund that's set up, and the money will be taken out of that fund to pay for the staircases.
Is there anticipated to be enough money in the fund to do these, or do we know yet?
We have an estimated cost.
We did get some quotes. We should have enough to do a couple for sure this year.
Yeah. I think we have enough maybe to do up to 4, but it all depends on what the bids come in at.
Okay. Item number 6, or I guess it would be item 4. Request for rezoning by the Riverbank. Excuse me?
We need a motion.
To what?
Make a recommendation to the Common Council.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that the provisions stated by, I think they're very reasonable. The DNR's been working with Tom and I on this project. Recommend approval of the conditional use permit for the stairwells, and also incorporating the DNR comments.
Okay.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Motion carries. Request for rezoning by the Riverbank to rezone 63.8 plus acres parcel at the southwest quadrant of State Highway 35 and Hanley Road from B2 General Business Comprehensive Plan change to 230 Master Plan Land Use Description Designation from General Business to Industrial. The Riverbank and Mr. Barry Lundin requested the rezoning. Danny?
Property being requested for rezoning is approximately a 64-acre parcel. In this location, this is State Trunk Highway 35 and Hanner Road, so it's at the southwest quadrant of those two roadways. The zoning of the parcels to the west and south is light industrial. To the north is basically planned residential development, master plan, and the zoning ordinance have a provision that presently the property is zone B2 General Business District and designated on the 2030 master plan map as general business. The request is to amend master plan to general industrial and then change the zoning to I1 light industrial. I think I've felt for a number of years this zoning could go either way. And when we go back and we revise the master plan, there was some discussion whether to keep this area industrial or go to commercial. Basically, the Common Council said, really depend on what the owner wanted to do. They wanted commercial, so it stayed in that for about the last 16 years. I've been hoping that maybe the St. Croix Business Park would purchase that property and expand their business park. However, we were not ever able to afford it. So for me to say, no, it can't be industrial, when I've been really wanting for it to be industrial for a long period of time. So I would recommend consideration and recommendation to the Common Council for the amendment to the master plan to industrial and then the rezoning of the property to I1 light industrial.
Any comments or thoughts?
Well, I think it makes sense that it should be industrial, like you said, so next to the industrial park, and I don't see any issue with it.
In your applications, it asked the reason why the rezoning was being requested by the Riverbank. Uline, which is a corporate headquarters, is out of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, just north of the Illinois border. Is looking to potentially purchase the property and develop a warehouse distribution center similar to General Motors service parts operation located immediately south of this particular parcel. Uline representatives are here tonight. I don't know if you want to ask them any particular questions, not necessarily pertinent to the zoning at this time as far as the details, but also shed some light as to why the rezoning request is being made.
Anyone have any questions?
I just have a couple. This question, the question about the number of semis that'll be coming through a day, I read it in the book, but I just was hoping that maybe you could talk about it a bit, because there was some, requests to have a better understanding, but that's my District 2 up there, so I had some constituents ask about that, so.
You need to go up to the lectern, Phil, to respond, please.
Sure. So my name is Phil Hunt, and I'm in charge of facilities for corporate for Uline. So the majority of our trucks are kind of off peak times, so they're not rush hour times. And I think most of them are inbound trucks, which would be restocking the warehouse, would be there by 7 p.m. and they would remain there overnight, and then they would leave in the morning. And then our outbound operations really don't start until about 10 a.m. And then most of those trucks, or all those trucks, are gone by 7 because we have to hit cut time. So really, it's mostly 10:30 in the morning till 7 p.m. and then our truck traffic's done.
And they said, you were saying an average of like 75 trucks?
Yeah,
and
that's the in and out.
Okay. And then my other question was that topography over there, the land, is there going to, the north loading court that will have 92 docks on it, is there going to be more trees put in? I mean, I see it here, but these aren't the existing trees.
No.
No, so is this?
Well, that's something as, if the zoning would be approved by the Common Council and they'd apply for development plans, those are the details we'd look at. That, at least conceptual sketch, which also is the one on the board, really shows a berm and landscaping. I did drive over to the Egan facility, which they do not own. I believe you lease that facility, if I'm correct?
We own that.
Oh, you do own it. Very well kept. There's no way they knew I was coming. The grounds are immaculate. They had somebody out walking the lawn today, picking up things, just very well landscaped. I think it's almost a 21-year-old facility. Just very well done. Now this facility would be substantially bigger than the facility in Egan. And I think the challenge of the design is how to mitigate the impact of having the trailers on the north side of this building. I mean, if I have one concern of this design is the trailers on the north side. If they're on the south side, I'd have less of a concern, because some of them may be on the north side, then you're going to have a more visual impact from Hanley Road for this project if it moves ahead. So that's something hopefully Uline, if everything moves ahead, Uline and the city can work out to try to mitigate that impact. But their facilities I saw in Egan were very nice, exceptional for the type of facility that they have. So.
Just a quick question. Sure. You're looking at the whole property, correct? Not just
correct.
Part of it, the whole, okay. And it looks like you have a couple phases that may happen over time.
Correct. And we're pretty aware of the residential to the north. So the good things are, one, our site sits a little bit lower, and we were talking to Ed, and if you talk about it, a good dimensions, it's almost a football field length from the building to the edge of the boundaries. And we've kind of run into this in the past, so we're good at berming, and we put a lot of landscaping and trees in, and we typically buy the 10 to 14 foot evergreen trees. We don't buy the little guys, we buy the big guys. So we understand residents' concern, and I don't think that'll be an issue for us. And I think, Denny, you saw that we like to landscape the property.
Yeah, I went on their webpage, and they have all their corporate offices, and even though the pictures are taken pretty tight to corporate, I mean, it looks like all their properties are very well maintained. So I think hopefully that's a positive. My understanding, they're very good as far as community giving. So hopefully if it goes through the Common Council, then it'll be a very positive for the community.
Frank, you have anything?
Yeah, this is going to be a distribution facility, right?
It fills orders for the customers of Uline that are in Minneapolis, part of Wisconsin, the Dakotas, and part of Iowa.
And when you say fill the orders, then you'll be delivering them out of this facility?
No, it would either go via UPS, and so we'll load a UPS
Okay.
trailer and they'll pull it out, or they're truckload shipments or less than truckload. So those all get loaded up and packed on the trucks by 6 p.m. and
Okay.
they're gone.
Okay, so you don't have a delivery fleet operating
No.
out of here then?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments? Do I have a motion to forward to the city council?
I'll move for approval. that
Or
we-
both the amendment to the comprehensive plan and the zoning.
For both the amendment to the comprehensive plan and the change of zoning to I-1.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Again, the public hearing scheduled for 6:45 on Tuesday, July 5th.
Item 7 or item 5, amendment to zoning code 255-18, St. Croix River Scenic Riverway Regulations, Community Development Director. Penny.
Again, just brought it back for consideration. Again, I think you have heard, I feel quite strongly that this local ordinance needs to be adopted so we avoid DNR having any administrative authority over the riverway regulations within the community. There's only 4 members here tonight. If you want to act on it tonight or discuss it, I'm pleased to discuss it. If you want to wait till more members are available, it's entirely up to you.
Have you received any comments from the other members? Because we did talk about this at length last time. And
I
Yeah,
think it's time.
do we need to reconsider the motion or reconsider the issue, or?
Yes, I mean, the last time it was,
Table, isn't it?
well, it wasn't tabled, it was, the motion failed to send it on to the common council. The reason it came back was because, I think Mary and maybe one other member wanted an opportunity to look at it a little bit more. I'm not pushing to the fact that you have to make a decision tonight, but I feel quite strongly at some point we need to make the recommendation to the council and move it ahead, so.
I appreciate that you gave me more time to look at it. I think I was probably it might have been it was my first time. I don't know if everybody else has looked at it more. I don't think we need to push it off for another meeting. I mean, we're a quorum. I have a belief that we're a quorum. We can make a vote, and that's just how the cookie lies. So I mulled it over a lot, and as much as I'm not happy with that, I feel like our hands are tied to the DNR, can just, kind of tell us you need to do this, or we're going to have control over your river, riverway. I will move to approve the what am I approving? The amendment to the zoning code 255-18 for the St. Croix River Scenic Riverway Regulations.
I'll second.
I had the same concerns as you, but I think it's kind of, there's not much we can really do about it. So.
I want to explain that what you don't see in the ordinance is what took 8 years to discuss.
Right.
That there's a lot of more stringent standards that were proposed initially that through discussions, and a lot of it my part, and really trying to protect the city's interest, those provisions weren't inserted into the ordinance. So I think it's about as good of an ordinance as we can get through that comprehensive discussion over a period of years. Most of our areas in the Scenic Riverway are developed. Of course, we do have some potential redevelopment in downtown, but I feel quite strongly these regulations are workable within the city of Hudson.
I also want to commend you for all the work you've done on this for the past 8 years. It's been a tussle, I know, so.
Frank, any comments or thoughts?
No, I can appreciate where you're at with it.
Okay.
I think if we don't,
So, we did have a public hearing about 2 years ago, but I would go back and we would conduct one more public hearing and send this draft to DNR, make sure that they've signed off on it.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Other business or informational purposes only for upcoming agenda, or for upcoming agenda.
I don't think there's any need to have a second meeting in July unless something comes up that, needs to be addressed quickly.
June, you mean?
Or June, I'm sorry,
that's all right.
June, my apology.
Yeah.
I did take off the discussion of tax increment financing in downtown. I would like to bring back Sean Lenz from Ayler's Associates to talk about taxi rent financing in the downtown. I've had 2 different parties talk to me about the possibility, and maybe that's something we can do on a morning meeting or something, if you know, if we can get enough members in attendance to make it worthwhile for Sean to come over and talk to us. So it'd be more of an informational thing than really having to take action on it, so.
Okay. Anything else? Any other members?
No,
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.